Harmony's economic model has been revised, and in this series of films we're going to be looking into the how and why in plenty of detail. But in this first film we're going to be looking into what has been changed in the new model and how it differs from the old one. But before we get into the details, let's look at what an economic model actually is. In effect, it's a simplified description of reality designed to yield hypotheses about economic behavior that can be tested. So if we look at supply and demand, for instance, in that model, demand is set to decline and supply to increase with price, yielding a system that moves towards the market clearing price, i.e. equilibrium, without intervention. Models generally consist of a set of mathematical equations that describe a theory of economic behavior. In blockchain, these describe token issuance, transaction fees, and the system of incentives designed to make sure the network functions properly. So here's the thing, all economic models, no matter how fancy or complicated they are really just subjective approximations of reality designed to explain observed phenomena. Now, the assumptions underlying our own economic model changed, so we needed to revise the model. So here are the main changes. There's a constant reward of 441 million tokens. The transaction fees offset the issuance, and overall, it's just simpler to understand.
So how's it different from the old model? Well, the old model was built with a variable issuance. As the percentage of tokens staked increased, the annual issuance decreased from around 500 million at 0% to 0 at or above 80%. In this new model, the total reward across the network, which is the issuance plus transaction fees, will remain constant, regardless of average block time and staking ratio, and will be fixed at 441 million. The reward is slightly smaller at staking ratios of less than 10%, but significantly higher at higher staking ratios greater than 10%. And if we break that down into yield ranges, it looks like this. First-year yields range 164% at 5% staked to 9% at 95% staked. Third-year yields range 73% at 5% staked to 4% at 95% staked.
So when we say the reward is constant, what we mean is the block reward, which is the new tokens issued, plus transaction fees. And that means that everything is kept in balance. So as the protocol gains adoption and the number of transactions increases, the number of new tokens issued goes down. And that also means that in theory, the issuance could go all the way down to 0. So there you had it. The revisions were implemented in support of 3 key goals: higher staking ratio, simplicity, and the path to 0 issuance. And we'll be covering those in more detail in future films. But do check out Nick White's Medium post or his Twitter thread in response to Avalanche. But for now, I hope you'll agree, it's definitely an improvement.